All right, let's talk about target market. The agenda today is we're going to discuss that. We're going to learn a little bit about how to know a target market. And unfortunately, in the business plan class, we don't have time to really engage on this topic as much as is really needed to start a business. We do that more in the Lean Startups class. But just know that this is an important topic if you really want to start a business, that you need to know your target market. So I'm going to show you a picture here of some gloves. These were gloves that were made a few years ago. And the description of them here you can see on your screen. Designed for superior grip with less effort. Our gloves increase the max you can grab, lift, or pull in a way that no competitor can match. So I'd want you to think a little bit about who would need those gloves. Maybe pause the video for a second and try to think who would be the ideal customer for those gloves. So there could be many customers for these gloves. This one in particular, when I have an in-class exercise, I ask people who would the target market be, and maybe you thought of some types of people in particular that would really need gloves like this, that really grab, lift, or pull. These gloves were actually made for sailors, people that work on or compete in sailing boats, sailing boat competitions. So if you're interested in this, you could look at Anchor Glove grip technology on Kickstarter, and you should be able to find a video about this. So it's very important for us to know who our target market is when we are starting a business. And there's many people that might buy your product. And it's nice to think about all of the people that might want to buy your product or who could buy your product. That makes us feel happy because there's a large number. But what we want to focus on in understanding our target market is who will really want to buy your product. More importantly, who's going to be your first customers? If they won't buy, then there's a problem. So you're trying to say, these are the people that are for sure going to buy my product. They're the most likely. These are the people that really want it. And so in your business plan, as we discussed previously, you're trying to tell a story, and you're trying to paint a picture. And the analogy that I give is that you are trying to illustrate to the reader that there's this path that leads to this very nice future destination where the company is making a lot of money, and the investor in the company is going to reap the rewards of their investment. And so the target market is describing the first steps. Who is going to be the first person that will buy that your product? So and if you can't make it through the first steps, obviously the rest of the journey is not going to really be it's not going to happen. So it's super critical to get this first step right. So one method that is used in product design is coming up with a customer archetype. And we're not going to do that in this class. We don't have enough time to do that. But you should start with one market segment first. So the one segment that is most convincing, the types of customers that you can actually go to and talk to, that they can give you feedback, and and so you can learn from them. And so the goal is that you want to understand that customer segment really well, know their pains, and figure out exactly whether you can provide value to them. So how do you do that? Well, I want you to think about how you would really know your customers well. Your customers are people. And so I'd like you to think about how do you know, how would you learn how to know people really well? And who's really good at that? And I have two examples, and I'm going to share those examples to give kind of an extreme case scenario of how you learn to understand people in a way that you didn't really understand before. And I'm going to ask you to go to watch these videos. The first one is Gang Leader for a Day, Sudhir Venkatesh. He's a sociologist, and I'd like you to watch that video. And then I want you to think about, like, what is it that he did to really understand a group of people that he didn't understand before. The idea is that you can copy some of the some ways of doing things that he did. His is an extreme example, but you can do the same thing. So I'll pause the video, you go watch that. And then also I'd like you to watch the video called Jane Goodall and Her Chimps. Again, what did she do so that she understood these chimps really, really well? This is an extreme example again, but what is it that she did, and what can you learn from her about understanding customers? And then the final video that I want you to watch is this Menlo Innovations High-Tech Anthropology. So they give an example of understanding customers that they were designing something for. And try to understand what is it that they did, and remember that you can emulate some of their activities. Okay, so I'm going to let you watch those 3 videos, and then we'll come back for the next video.